Hello and welcome to this lesson series. Thank you for being here with me as I'll take you through 8 lessons on various issues on opera playing. This will prepare you not only as an opera pianist, but also as a pianist playing vocal music with singers or even with other instruments. By the end of this series, you will have acquired a number of tools under your fingertips to tackle opera or orchestral music, to be able to play them like an orchestra. So let's get started. What's a répétiteur? The word répétiteur comes from the French word répéter, which means to rehearse or to repeat. A répétiteur is a pianist that works in an opera company or opera house very closely with singers. Répétiteurs will coach singers in musical coaching, playing for staging rehearsals, follow a conductor in rehearsals, and even conducting a backstage chorus. So let me show you some of the famous examples of repertoires that we play as an opera répétiteur. Many of you would know this famous duet from Mozart's Don Giovanni. Lacidarem la mano, la mi dirai di sì, vedi non è lontano, partiam ben mio da qui. There's also this very famous drinking song in a party setting in the beginning of La Traviata by Verdi. Now, as operas are accompanied by the orchestra, our job is to play like the orchestra. Playing like the orchestra is very different from, being a pianist, because the instrument is an instrument that is very different from the orchestra. There are many things that are different, but one of the main things is how we read the score. We are trained since we were young to play everything that we see on the page and to practice to make sure that all the notes are clear, the articulations are correct, phrasings are beautiful, and so on. However, when we are playing orchestra music, the score that we see are reductions. This means that someone has looked at the full score, full orchestra score, and made a piano transcription that is playable on 2 staves, one for the left hand and one for the right hand. One thing to keep in mind though, the different reductions of the same piece that we see can be very different because they are all transcribed according to a particular person's own ideas and understanding. This is an example of the Count's aria from Mozart's The Marriage of Figaro. In this version, you can see that the transcriber actually added the oboe parts in the piano reduction, and it plays this way. Whereas in the other version, you have this. In the same opera, this time Cherubino's aria, you see that one version has this. So you have 2 voices on the right hand. Whereas in the other version, you only have this. And in this example, this is an aria from Ariadne of Naxos by Strauss. And in this particular section, it is very, very difficult to play. While the aria itself is already difficult, but the transcription makes it even more difficult if you were to follow all the notes written. If you can follow just on this few measures, the right hand does, so you have a lot of this kind of jumps that are played in the orchestra, but for the pianist, it is very little time to do a lot of those kind of leaps. And for the left hand, at this particular moment, you can see the left hand has to do, and the next measure itself. So what do we do about the differences of different versions that we see? And what do we do about the very difficult passages that we see on a particular transcription? This is everything that we are going to look at in the next few lessons. So I hope this has given you a good preparation of what's to come next. And in the next lessons, we'll look into more details of orchestra playing. I'll see you next.